Hello friends, welcome to my channel IT Career. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are excellent. Today we are going to discuss about and learn about images. So what are images and how it is different from machine images? Remember in our last lecture we discussed about machine images and we also created one. So machine image is a computing resource that stores all configuration, metadata, permission, and data from multiple disks of the virtual machine instance. You can use a machine image in many system maintenance, backup recovery, and instance cloning scenarios. We had a very detailed level discussion on the machine image, right? So I'm not going to discuss again. If you have not seen my last lecture, I think lecture 16, please go ahead and check about machine images. So let me go back to my whiteboard, which is blackboard now. So you remember these 4 tasks we have done. We created a virtual machine and we added a disk. First the disk E drive and install a software IIS in the C drive, and we created a folder and files in the C drive, and in the E drive also we have created folder and files. So this is just to check this 10 scenarios. I mean, sorry, this 6 scenarios. So these 2, 5 and 6, machine image export and machine image import, what it does, right? So machine image is basically what we learned is taking all the disk, right? So C drive, E drive, whatever, multiple disk, whatever is there in the C drive, E drive, or anything else like F drive, G drive, how many drives you have. If you have a requirement to take the backup of the entire system, if it is a Linux system also, if you want to take everything from the Linux system or the virtual machine, you can take that. So the general scenarios are, these are the scenarios, right? If you have a maintenance going on, if you want to take a backup and you want to recover, so suppose you have a system, you have a virtual machine, right? In that one you have so many drives, and this is under maintenance, okay? And maintenance, and that is a little heavy lifting maintenance, and you don't want anything will be anything by the maintenance should be disrupted. Okay, so before that what you decided, okay, let me take my entire virtual machine, a machine image copy, okay, machine image, so that if anything goes with the maintenance, you can restore the entire machine image. So by that what you will get, suppose it has a C drive, E drive, and G drive, F drive, okay, all these things will be restored intact, whatever you have taken into the machine image. All right, I hope you guys understood what I mean to say, and I have shown everything about these 2 5th and 6th scenario, and I shown in my last lecture everything detail level in the lab. So today we are going to learn about and have a demo on the image. Okay, so images. What is image? Instances run images which contains operating system, libraries, and other code. Use operating system images to create boot disk for your instances. Okay, so image is nothing but it contains your operating system and libraries and other code. So let me go back to my blackboard and let me go down. So suppose you have this virtual machine, okay, and it has C drive, E drive, okay, as our example. So image is nothing but it contains your operating system and your libraries and other code. It means what? Any other code you install. So basically image is a copy, it should have your operating system. So generally we install operating system in the C drive, right? Okay, so that's all. That's the thing. You are taking an export of the C drive, which will come your OS like Windows, and binaries means any binaries Windows have, or if you are installing any additional software, maybe Python or maybe IIS, okay, or any other software you install, it will have these things. And if you have any custom code in the in the operating system, like any script, okay, you are running after the virtual machine boot, that script and all the codes will be taken into the images, okay, if you take an image export. All right, so let us go back into our slide. How many types of images? So one is public image, another is custom images. Public images are provided by and maintained by Google, open source communities and third party vendors. By default, all Google projects have access to those images and can use them to create instances. So public images is nothing but they maintained by the Google and other community, like open source community and third party vendors, okay, like Windows virtual machines, right? The images, they may be maintained by Google, or maybe it may be by Windows, or if it is any like Ubuntu or something like that, it is maybe a third party vendors, right? So, and by default all the Google projects have access to those images. So let me go and show you what are machine images in the console. So right now we are in the console and we are going to compute engine, and under compute engine you'll see here under storage images. All right, so I'll click on images, and these are the public images. These are the public images available from Google or third party vendor. If you see the number of different vendors, like these are like Debian, right? All the Debian images. See all the Debian images, CentOS, Google Manage, right? So these are different public images created by Google. Okay, so that is all it is talking about. Next thing is custom images. So what are custom images? Custom images are available only to the cloud project. You can create custom image from boot disk and other images, then use the custom image to create instances. Okay, so custom image is nothing but you can create the custom image from the public image, okay, whatever public image has, okay. You can just copy it to the custom image, and then you can customize. How we are doing it, we are going to show it in the today's lab. You can use most public images at no additional cost, okay, but there are some premium images that do additional cost to your instances, okay. So most of the things are free of cost, but there are some premium ones which we will see in the today's video, today's lecture. They have additional charges. Custom images that you import to compute engine add no cost to your instances, okay, but do occur image storage charge while you keep your custom image to your project. So they doesn't have any charge, but they may they may charge you for the storage, which may be charged to your project. Means what? I'll tell you something. Remember, we have created two virtual machine. One is Windows for my first virtual machine. This is the first one, and then this is the one. My first virtual machine, Windows 1. We created this one as an example of in the lab of machine image, right? So and I created another one, finance, for myself. Okay, so all these instances or virtual machine we created, they are all in stop mode. It means what? Google is not going to charge me because I am not using any compute, because it is compute engine, right? I'm not using their compute, right? What is compute? I mentioned before, right? Compute is nothing but your CPUs and your RAM, right? Memory. So they are stop mode, so it will not be charged. But they have disk, right? They have disk underlying disk. Right? So if I click on the disk here, you will be able to see all the disk attached to the virtual machine. So these will be charged, but very minimal. But you cannot stop the disk, right? You can stop the virtual machine, and but underlying the storage, it will be charged. All right. So as for example, this is the first E drive to the by my first virtual machine Windows. So you should give the the naming convention so that you'll understand what it is for, right? So by the name I can easily identify this is E drive in my first VM Windows. The this one, it has a E drive, so that E drive name is that name. And then finance had a one, the finance virtual machine has only one drive, which is C drive. And then this is the C drive of my first virtual machine Windows, and this is the C drive of my first virtual machine Windows 1, and this is E drive of my first virtual machine 1-1. So if you go in this one, if you'll be able to see the the E drive. So additional disk, storage. So this is the local boot disk, and you see the additional E drive is this one, okay, with the 10 gigabyte. So why I'm telling you all these things, you'll come to know into this lecture. It will be important. All right. So where is my PowerPoint? Okay. Public images, again, I'm elaborating more. Compute Engine offers many pre-configured public images that have compatible Linux and Windows operating system. All right. So Compute Engine has all the public images, like I mentioned here. They are compatible with Linux and Windows. Okay, so the public images listed here all are these are all Debian, and all these things are Debian, CentOS. These are all OS. Unix, Linux level. Okay, and there are images which is Windows operating system compatible also. Use these operating system images to create and start instances. So you can create the instance with the images, and you can start the instances. Compute Engine uses a selected image to create a persistent boot disk for each instance. So Compute Engine uses your image to create a persistent disk for each. So it will create a persistent disk for the instance, right? By default, the boot disk is for an instance is the same size of the image you selected. But if you want to, if your instance require larger persistent disk boot disk, then image size resize the boot disk. So you can resize the boot disk. You can increase the boot disk. We have seen in our lecture, and we will see today, last lecture. Okay, now custom images. Custom image is a boot disk image that you own and control access to. Because it is custom, so you own it and it is your one, and you have access to do whatever you want to do. Use custom images for the following task: import of a virtual disk to the Compute Engine from your on-prem environment. So what you do, import a virtual machine. Suppose your Compute Engine, you have a virtual machine in your on-premise, right? And you want to import into the Google Cloud, and you can do that things. Okay. And then from our virtual machine running R for local environment orchestration and another cloud platform, you can manually import boot disk images into Compute Engine, but one at a time. So we are going to see what you. So suppose you have a virtual machine in your on-premise or any Azure or AWS cloud, right? And you want to export it. You can export from there. You can import here, but you cannot do entire because this is images. It is not supporting multiple disks. It is only one at a time, one disk at a time. Okay. Create an image from the boot disk of your existing Compute Engine instances. You can create an image from the boot disk, right? Then you can use the image to create new boot disk for instance. So you can create new boot disk from the image, like one from another from another. Okay, this process allows you to create new instances that are pre-configured with the apps that need without having configured a public. So yeah, I'm going to show you right now, and let me show you what I mean in everything in the. So when the image is very important and custom image is important. Okay, suppose you have a requirement, you got a project, and that project, new project, has a requirement. They have a call center. Okay, they have call center, and they have requirement of 1000 pieces, 1000 pieces or virtual machine. Okay, and now you have all those here, you have to install. So they have thousand virtual machine, or I'll not say PCs, virtual machines. Okay, now they have a requirement, they need Windows 2022 operating system. Okay, and they want in that IIS to be installed. They want Python to be installed. Okay, and they want any other additional software. And okay, so these are the things they need. So now you have 1000, right? 1000. So if you install here Windows, so you have an image. Okay, you have an image for Windows, you have an image for Windows, only Windows. You don't have all these things. Okay, you don't have all these things. Now if you use the image of for Windows, suppose it is XYZ, if you use this image, so you what you will do, you will install here, and then you do the step number 1, you do the step number 2, 3, and then 4, and here also 1, 2, 3, 4. So think about it, there are only 2 over here, right? For 2 it is fine, and but here is requirement is 1000. All right, you have 1000. So now what you'll do, if you do, it is very time consuming, right? It is time consuming, it will take maybe months or weeks and multiple resources. So in that case, what you do, you create an image. So you do it in one system, you just did it in here, you install Windows, you install IIS, and on top of it you install Python, and you install so many other softwares and configure the virtual machine. Now what you do, you suppose the virtual machine name is like VM1. So what you do, everything is in the C drive. Okay, and you take an export of an image, or you created an image. Okay, you have given the image name is image1. So now this image contains all these 4 stuffs. All right, now think about it. Now it is so easy. Now what you do, in the VM2 you import this image. So by importing, you are getting all these features. In VM3 you do the same thing, you get all the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like that you do everywhere. So in that cases, it will save your time, so it will save your money. All right, and that is the beauty of custom images. So how it is different from the machine image? So machine image is taken care of and entire VM, like C drive, E drive, and blah blah blah, how many are there. And images are nothing but your operating system and libraries or other code. Okay, in this case you should not use machine image, because your requirement in the machine image, you are exporting everything, right? E drive and other drive, right? Here in this case you don't need, you just need the OS. You need a blank empty virtual machine where only your requirement these 4 things. All right, now I think you understand by what is the meaning of images. Okay, so we have done this step as well. So this two. Now we are going to do a lab. Let me go back to my console. Here is my console. Yeah, here we go. So let me go back here, and let me start our all virtual machines. Okay, so one by one, start. Oh, I didn't want. Okay, anyway, and then this, let's start this. All right, and let's start this also. It doesn't take much time. Okay, all right. So you see, whenever in under virtual machine, this under these three dots, when you click on this one, you have an option to create machine image, right? But here you will not find the creation of the images. So how to create images? You have to go image, and from there you see, okay, let me go through the image screen. So here you see create image, refresh and delete, right? You can delete the image and all. And now let us read the description. As I mentioned, Google give very good feature everywhere, about the topic. You will get the description of the topic, what is the meaning and how to do that. You can click on learn more. It will give you detailed documentation what it means. All right, so and how to do that thing. So now create image, and then under images you see all the public images, and then you have the import history and image export history, image import history. So what it means, it is where you are importing the virtual machine from your on-premise or cloud environment we just talked about. So if you have a virtual disk in your on-premise or cloud environment with the software and configuration that you need, sometimes referred to as golden disk or golden images. So what is mean is like, so you just call it as this image is a golden image. Why it is golden image? You're referring, so because you are your all tasks are involved here, multiple, there might be might be so many other things. So that's why you have, this is golden to you, because this is when you sing golden means it is very valuable to you, because this image configured everything, okay, and you are going to use in thousands of operating system, a virtual machine. All right, so that's why it is called golden. So sometimes referred to as golden image. You can save time by importing those virtual disks to compute engine and using resulting image to create new virtual machines, right? We talked about it. The import tool supports most virtual disk file formats including VMDK and VHDK. If you want to learn more about this one, you can click on learn more and you can learn it, because VMDK and VHDK are the formats of the virtual machine image extension, disk extension. So but this feature needs this API to be enabled, image cloud build API. So once you click on that, you'll be able to let me do that. Okay, cloud build API enable. So here is the pricing it's saying. So it is free for per minute build time starting 0 minutes build a day. So if you have it's gone. So it has a pricing. We are going to look into it soon. Okay, so but it is already okay, it is now enabled, right? So let me go back and see whether that is enabled or not. If it is not, then we're not going to discuss more. Yeah, so it is now enabled. So the enable button is gone, right? So now it is asking you need some permission to do that thing, but yeah, it is a lengthy process. We need to provide this permission. This is into the IAM, but we'll have a different chapter on IAM and all. Once you have it, you'll be seeing a import option where you can it will browse you for the your exported virtual machine image from the on-premise or other cloud provider. And same way here it will show you the export history. Okay, it also needed this role. All right, so now right now we are going to create image. So we have a create image. So what you see here, image 1, so you have to give a name. So name is permanent definitely, and here is the definition. Name must start with a lowercase followed by like a virtual machine name. Same here also. Okay, so I'm going to give my first VM Windows image. Okay, this is my image name, and then you have a source. So you can have a source as a disk, you have a snapshot, you have a image, you have a cloud storage file, or you have a virtual disk, like it can be from any other cloud provider, right? We just talked about it. So disk, generally we take an image of the disk. So now we'll go over the other option later. Now under disk, when I choose the disk, we have, remember I shown you that we have a 5 disk. So E drive is showing my E drive from the my first virtual machine Windows. That won't give me any value, because that does not have any operating system, right? It is a blank disk. So I should not create from this one. Finance, we can create it. I have a finance, it has, this is C drive, and we have, this is the one C drive of the my first virtual machine Windows. So I should create this one because it has a operating system. I remember I install IAS, and I created a folder, and under the folder a file also. So let us do this one. Okay, so it is saying a disk attached to the running instant, to create an image, need stop the instant first and select keep instance running. So what it means, like, it is a running system, right? So from the running system virtual machine disk, if you create an image, it may be inconsistent, right? So it is always recommended to stop the virtual machine and export, create the image, so that the data will be consistent. Otherwise, data in the transit, so data is written from the memory to the disk, right? So the data in the memory from the disk, which is not copied to the disk, is not going to taken care into this image. But we are okay for now. Okay, so I'm saying keep instance running, not, although it is not recommended, but it is recommended to stop it. Okay, so now next thing is regional or multi-regional. You can have it in multi-regional, but I am creating regional. I am giving South Carolina. Anything is fine with. Okay, and then family is an optional. You can give, so like you can say my family. Okay, and name. Let's see, my custom family. Okay, now you can add a label also, and encryption level, I am selecting Google Manage Encryption Key. I'm going to create. Click on create. It will take some time because it has Windows and it has some other operating system and other softwares. Here you go. The image is created, my first VM Windows image, and you see the size of the image is this size is 50 gigabyte, right? So the image size will be the same. Now you see my family, this family came, right? I given my family. So what is the, this family means it is an optional attribute, of course, and which allows you to group the images. Okay, so suppose you want to find for that image for my family, how many are there, so you can group them. Okay, so that is what the family is. And under action, once you create it, the image, you see under action, you can create an instance from here, and you can deprecate. So what is deprecate means? And you can delete also. One more thing I'll tell you, delete. You can delete the custom images. However, you cannot delete the Google supplied images. Okay, if you see the delete button is still see, it is saying you can only delete custom images. So it won't allow you to delete the Google managed images. You can see the delete button is enabled now because it is a custom image. All right. So now what is the meaning of deprecate? Right. So deprecate is nothing but it will mark the image deprecate, so that it means that this image. Okay, let me choose this. So here is a show deprecated images. So if I click that, so let me show you what it is showing. It will show you all the deprecated images here. Okay, because this is my custom, it is showing first, but it is not deprecated. So you see the deprecated means this image is available to you, although this image is not supported, and there is a I mean, newer version of the image is I mean, expected from the vendor. However, this is not supported, but this is available to you, and this is, you can say, a warning to you that this is deprecated, we are not supporting it. Okay, but this is available to you. So that's about all, I mean, all about, you know, how to create in image. Okay, so let me show you one more thing here. Once you create an image, right, so in the source we have selected disk, right? So disk, I have given the, I mean, which disk I want. So generally it is a operating system disk which choose, right, which just now we created. Now whenever the snapshot, so it will give you, it will ask you which is snapshot also, again, it is the same as, almost as, you know, images. We are going to discuss in the next lab and next lecture. So we don't have any snapshot right now, so I cannot show you, but it is same as images. Okay, it will because we don't have any, so it is not showing here. So next thing is image. So you can create an image from the image itself. So so image, so from the same project or different project. So we have, see, we have it is by default is coming because we are in the same project, this project, right? We are in this project, so it is showing GCP ACE 2023, and under that we have on this image just now created, right? So you can create the an image under this project, or if you want to change from other project from the organization, you can choose it. You see that we have my first project came. Now under that I don't think we have anything there, that's why it is not showing. But you can create an image from another image from the same project or different project. All right, I think you understand everything about images and all. Now as we have the image is ready, so let us go ahead and create an instance. So you can create an instance directly from here, you can create. Okay, so create instance, if you click, and then it will take you there, new instance creation. So you can give my first VM Windows from image. Okay, and label and all. So remember, when we create the instance from the machine image, all these attributes came, I mean the labels, all the I mean machine configuration and all, everything was came intact, right? But here it is not the fact. So now here I mean image also has same thing in this one, machine configuration E2, and you know the 4 GB of memory, and then you see that my then boot disk is my first virtual machine Windows image. This is my boot disk, right, of the, because that image has my first virtual machine Windows. Okay, yeah, this is the one image name. It has my C drive of that virtual machine, and everything else I'll put, you know, allow access. Now one more thing I'll show you, one more thing. So whenever we saw it, you know, the host name of the virtual machine is getting, I mean, from there. But if you have a requirement to create your own virtual machine name, host name, you can create here. Another option, I think management, no, under networking, yes, under networking, you see that this is coming by default. But if you have an option like win cloud Windows, simply, okay, no meaning, it's cloud Windows. Okay, I'm just giving it, and let's see whether it host name must have host name must have it at least 2 levels. So it means, okay, I think, yeah, labels means example.com. so basically, you know, levels, I mean Google Cloud uses this automatically create an internal DNS name for the host name it provides in the VM. So you know, this will create an internal DNS name. So what are these things? We are going to cover it in our firewall networking section. All right, for now I'm giving cloud Windows example.com. all right, now everything else is same as is, so we are going to click on create. Okay, So we are creating the virtual machine from the image we just created, and the image is created from my first virtual machine, uh, this one. So everything, this virtual machine should have everything like this virtual machine. Okay, so it should have a IIS installed, it should have my folder, my files, everything. All right, the virtual machine is created and it is running. All right, and now it has a public IP. Now let me do one thing. Because my first virtual machine Windows has IIS installed, so it has a website, right? Let me check whether it should be. Oh yes, you see that? It means our new virtual machine from the image is created perfectly. But let us go and check everything. So my set my Windows password. Okay, my user ID set, and then it will give me the password. Let me copy the password and put it in notepad. All right, now close and click on RDP, download the RDP file, click on the RDP file, connect, and then credential. Okay, and it will connect to my new virtual machine. All right, new virtual machine is installed, and then you don't need these things. Let me check. If I go here and yeah, you see this, it is installed, right? Web server is installed. Cancel this and then close and open the internet. Oh, see, that's everything came intact. So I did something, I remember in the server I installed Google Chrome also, okay, into the first virtual machine. It came intact. So my PC, see, remember, that has my first Windows has 2 drive, so it is not taken E drive, right? It is only taken C drive, and it has inetpub, which is my IIS. All right, in my IIS. And then I remember I created one folder, test image, machine image, right, snapshot. So yeah, these are my first. So the everything came intact, right, from the image. But we understand what is image and all. All right, so we are done for the day, this lecture. And let me recap. Image, public image, and we have custom image. Public images are Google provided, or maybe third party, or any open source communities, right? They're very standard. And custom images are like what you can create your custom images and from the public image, and then you can customize, you can add more stuffs into that, and then export it, right? So in my Blackboard, so now this is done, and this is, we see that it is taking C drive export, which is OS, and then libraries, okay, other softwares or code, okay, it will take care. And in which scenarios, if you have a multiple virtual machine scenario you have to create, you create a custom image or you create an image, okay. And that is next lecture we'll have a snapshot, which would be a very small lecture, almost same like image, but I'll keep those things separate because I don't want to make my videos very long. All right, with that said, I am done for the day. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you liked it, please like the video and please share with your friends and family. The channel is not growing, guys, and I am doing so much to run this channel. And hopefully this will be lecture 17. maybe. Alright, thank you so much. Please subscribe the channel and share with your friends and family. Bye bye. Take care.